It's Book Report Monday! And today, we're talking about David the Good's brand new book just dropped on the Kindle store. The Good Guide, no, it's called Best Book Report Ever. It's called Free Plants for Everyone. The Good Guide to Plant Propagation. I got it. I knew I would get it. And of course, it's by David the Good. Now, you know, if you have listened to my book reports before about David the Good, you know that one of my favorite things about his books in particular are that they are incredibly motivational and inspirational. So he gets right to the point. He has lots of good information. He knows what he's talking about and has a nice sense of humor that keeps the book fun to read. But it's tremendously inspirational. You will walk away from this book saying, I can propagate all the plants that I need. I can. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to make some mistakes, because that's all part of learning. But you will walk away with the information that you need to make an orchard out of one tree, or to make a hedgerow out of one plant, or to take some seeds and fill up your whole yard with whatever that stuff is. So here's what's in the book. Let me consult my menu. First, he just talks about why you would want to propagate plants, which I assume if you bought the plant, you already know why you want to propagate plants. But for one thing, buying plants can be expensive. Or if you find a plant out in the woods, you can't always just dig up the whole thing and bring it to your house. And if you want to make a whole hedgerow of something and you go to a plant nursery, that's going to cost a nice little chunk of change. So then David goes into a chapter about seeds, and he'll talk about the pros and cons of direct seeding versus transplanting, and why some plants you want to direct seed and some you want to transplant. He also has a lot of information about improving the germination rates and germination speed of seeds, because some of these plants, they have a really thick seed case and they just don't seem to want to germinate, or not for a long, long time. And he has so much, hands in the dirt experience that he has a lot of ways to speed up plants that should take quite a bit longer to germinate and grow. He has a whole chapter called Germinating Seeds Like a Boss. I think that's a good chapter title. Then he also talks about different methods of rooting and I went to see David the Good. I wish his book had some more explosions. He also talks about various methods of rooting, air layering, or taking a cutting and jabbing it in the ground, or really you don't jab it in the ground, and tips on getting that thing to lay down some roots without just laying over and dying. I am terrible at propagating roses, but I'm not going to be terrible anymore, because now I have this book. Anyway, lots of tips on that, different ways to divide plants up, or the different ways that you want to approach dividing plants up, your clumpers, or things that make bulbs. And then, my goodness, he demystifies grafting. Now, he already has a YouTube video. Is it called Get Grafting, I think? That you can watch that for free. And then here he's going to go and detail several different methods of grafting, and when you might want to use the different ones, what tools you need, what you really need, or what might be nice that's extra. And he takes the fear out of grafting, because it can be intimidating to graft plants. You think you're going to kill everything. Sometimes you do. Yeah, and he has a lot of tips for making it work. And he has a nice list of plants that he has found that will graft together. Some of them will surprise you. And he has a list of plants that won't graft together. Some of those may surprise you also. And then he goes on to tell you about different places that you can get plants if you're looking for a very specific plant, or something that is rare and not typically at your local nursery or your Walmart or Atwoods or wherever you go to get your plants. And I didn't even think about maybe half of those. That might be my own fault. And some of them are companies like seed exchanges, or seed companies and plant companies, and he has a lot of experience dealing with them, and he'll tell you which ones are his top picks. Burnt Ridge Nursery is one that he recommends, and I've used them before, and I've had really good experience with them, so we both recommend that one. And then he will wrap up the book with 101 plants and how to propagate them, because some plants like to propagate one way and some plants like to propagate another way. The only thing is, you will not find out about zucchinis from David the Good. I don't know what zucchinis did to that man, but you will not find out about zucchinis from David. So that's it. That's my book report. I recommend this book. If you don't just have a bunch of money sitting in the bank that you don't know what to do with, then you might as well spend it on plants. This is the book. Spend a little bit of money on this book, and then a little bit of money on some seeds or some plants, and then just propagate those things like it's going out of style. I'll see you in the next book report Monday. Until then, keep your eyes out for plants and zombies. Happy foraging. David the Good, we listen to Portishead.